Right, so take two. Here we are, we're back trying to get the drive shaft nut off. This took us a bit of effort. We've strapped this bolt here, sorry, this spanner to the actual drive shaft, and we've got another big spanner on that. Just took a bit of effort to get that off. We had a cup of tea there and it's tightened back up again, so we're going to put a bit of heat on it, then we're going to get another wee go. Right, we'll get the spanner on it now. Go for that side, I think. Right, that'll do it. There you are, that's it moving down. Not quite, it's certainly a slacker. It must have just been rust that's holding that up, and we've managed to kind of guide it through the threads.
Roasting.
We'll just heat it up a good bit. So you think that's maybe off the threads and now we need to pull this forward a wee bit?
Might be right, aye.
Right, okay, let's do that. The plan is to take this centre bearing off, hold it, then hopefully pull the shaft out. It's quite slack.
Have you cracked him off? No?
I've got it out, there you go. Right, I've got the wee gun on it now. Right, I'm going to hold this. Right, so that should come out. Is the shaft coming out?
Aye, it's on your way, on you go.
We'll point it at the shaft part, see if it comes out. Right. We'll have a wee look at that in a minute. There we go. So this is the culprit here. Now apparently you can take this nut off. There are a couple of wee seals in there, aren't there?
Yeah, the nuts off.
There's a wee clip in there, see it's C-clip.
C-clip, aye.
And there's a wee O-ring in there as well. I think the O-ring's actually in there. Right, at least we've got it off. And the drive shaft's off. That should be fine. Now we need to start to think about getting the tank off, so let's get ourselves tidied up here then, see what we're going to do next. So maybe we're getting held in with rust here.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
And that goes on there like that. Hopefully. I'll need to get him all tidied up. Let's look at that in there.
That's what I'm saying, that's been your problem, I think.
So there is a strange smell.
There is.
I don't know whether it's the...
Like a grease smell or...
maybe that's what it is, aye.
It's the old dirty grease.
No, it could be.
That's what it is.
Right, cut them all off. So we need to take this trim off along the bottom here, and I'll show you why underneath. If I can get under. So we need to take, I'm going to go back a bit. We need to take this skipping off here to allow us to get into some of these bolts. I don't know if I can see in there. Pretty light in there, but
there's a couple of bits here, see there. You take them off.
are they 10 mils you think?
I don't like it, eh? There's 5 or 6 of them. They've got rusty looking, you need to be careful with them.
Yeah, try that. Oh, that's not holding that on. That's holding that on. Oh, you're right enough, sorry. Ah, you're right.
Take this off.
Sorry.
Pretty light. I can't see if I want it. Hold that a Wait for the rust.
One in your face. I don't know where that went to. I'm just throwing them now, Christ, they're all over the rolling everywhere. Right, let's see. You've got that, and I'll take that. Right, so we've managed to take that panel off there. Interestingly enough, look at the rust in these pipes. Now, let me just think what they are. I think they're AC pipes. This is a lot of people got a lot of bother with these AC pipes.
These pipes?
Aye.
They're quite rusty.
It's amazing, some of them are, some of them are not.
Aye.
But I'll try and maybe give them a wee wire brush and repaint before I put them back in again. I think they're quite bad up this side. With a light one there. Aye. Look at them up there. I can't see that well. Quite rusty. Not in any hurry, so we'll carry on and we'll get the other side of this panel off. Probably can't see that well. It's the kind of panel that hides all these pipes along this side, so we'll get the other side off. Right, this is where we're at. I've got that off. You've probably seen for the CCTV camera there is pulling that out. Got a bit of damage on that, although I'd pulled a bit of that out underneath, but got the rust inside.
Right, see the rest of that end.
I lift it up, Pat, see how we go with that. Aye, so quite a bit of damage on the left side more than the right.
I wonder why that is.
Strange. So whether weld it or buy a new one?
Buy a new one. You'll never weld that.
No, I don't think we could.
That's too far
Our
gone.
original thought was to try and see if we could patch that. I mean, this bit here is pretty
You need to
decent.
patch it for here.
Yeah,
You need to replace that hole. You need to get right back to there.
yeah. I
Right,
think
right down to there.
the thing about a new one of them is they're over £500
Aye.
just for that bit of metal. Just stick it back down. And that's the fuel tank there. We did get that out. I've done it myself mostly this morning. Pat came down and we managed to pump out the fuel. Somebody stupidly tried to do this with a full tank of fuel. So they did. That would be me. And we'll get the exhaust off. So that's where we are. I've got this wee pump off Amazon. It's actually okay once we started pumping. But there you go. So I'll come back to you when we've got the new bit here and we'll refit the tank and the new undershield. I'll just thought I'd give you a wee update where we are. We've got the new undershield delivered, which is the right one this time. There's the old one. We were chatting about how bad it is rusted on the inside, and we were assuming these holes here are for drainage, but clearly didn't work on that side. Let's go around the car. I've got the tank out here, and again recommend you do that without having any fuel in your tank. So we've managed to get that empty. That's where the filler cap goes, but there's a wee non-return valve in there, and that's where the fuel pump is if you want to change that. What we also had to do was remove the back seat, and it gives you access to electrical connections to the pump, etc. in there. So moving the back seat's fairly easy. 4 bolts, 2 different sizes. One's that size and one's that size, but fairly straightforward. Lifts out, and so when we're putting the tank back in again, at least we can get up here and get the cables in, hopefully. I'm going to give the exhaust a wee spruce up a wee bit and paint some of that maybe. So let's go underneath. I'll show you underneath some of the problems that you can encounter. So this is the space where the fuel tank is. That's where the pump connects under the rear seat. That's from the fuel filler neck. Now you'll notice some of these areas here are a bit corroded, and I think that's just where the steel's hitting the aluminium. And these pipes here look alright here. Remember, that tank's fully sitting there, you can't see most of this. However, this is where I think with AC pipes, I think they're AC pipes, I'm quite sure, whereas the bracket is not aluminium, is rusting. You wonder why they didn't put stainless steel on there, because to get to them you need to take the fuel tank out. And these ones are not any better, I suppose, but that's only 2 part. The pipes look okay, but the brackets, maybe when they're falling down or fell off like this one, maybe that's where you get your AC problem leak. And this pipe here is actually the brake line. It looks in pretty good nick, to be fair. It goes up and over and down to that side over there. But again, if you had to change that brake line, you'd have to take the fuel tank out. So I'm just going to try and tidy some of this up a wee bit. Get some of that away, put some maybe copper grease on that, or some other lithium grease, to try and prevent a bit of corrosion. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if you can buy these brackets or not. Let's have a better look up there. Aye, they're not the best, but they're a bear to get to when the fuel tank's in. So let me just tidy that up. So that's where we are. So I think tomorrow, when Apprentice Pat's here, we will get the fuel tank back in again. And I'm still waiting on in here, which is the rear diff. There's a wee C-clip on that. There's apparently that's supposed to be a wee rubber washer. I think that's one, sorry, O-ring, one there. There's one in there as well. So I'm waiting them coming. And I do know I've got a leak from the diff. I did try and clean that up, but there is a wee tiny leak in there that I can live with now. Even if you were taking your diff out, it's not that difficult. You bolt there, and there's 2 bolts at the back, and that diff, obviously you need to take the drive shafts out, or the CV joints out there. But anyway, that's where we are, and there's the tank sitting there. Everything else seems straightforward. Get the tank back on, we'll get the drive shaft back on, then we'll get the exhaust on, then we'll go for there. Right, this is where we are. We tried to put a hyperlapse on there and didn't work. Got the shield back on. We've got the pipe in for our filler neck pipe, that's in. Everything else is fine up the top. We could probably lure that jack down now, Pat.
Yep.
So we're just going to take the bolts out and put a bit of thread lock on them. You lower the jack down first, I think. So that's what we use to put the tank in, which isn't too bad actually, it's just a bit of jiggery pokery. The biggest problem I had is getting up over the shaft from the diff. So we'll bolt it back on and we'll get the drive shaft on and all the bits and pieces on. Right, this is where we are. We've got the drive shaft on. I wonder, have a wee look at that. The lights are still on. So the drive shaft's on. The best picture, but there you go. And we've torqued that up to 150 Newton meters, which are a special way you do that with a special tool that we bought. Or should I say, we didn't buy. And that's the new tank shield on. So I'm going to put some Raptor stuff on that just to protect it. And then all I've got to do is put the DPF on. Once we get the exhaust on, I think that'll be us. So I did paint the exhaust at the top here. Down here. So I'll give that a wee coat of paint, a high heat stove paint. So just let that dry. And we'll get the underside of it when we put it on once it's dried. So that's us. We've got that sensor to put back in again there. And just plug everything else back in again. We've got a couple of new rubbers. We'll maybe keep that rubber and keep the two rubbers there. We've got new rubbers for the back because we have to cut them off, if you remember. And then we'll get that put on and see how we go. Right, that's exhaust on. The apprentice Pat couldn't find where this wire went to. But we got there eventually in the end. So we've a couple of wee bits and pieces to do. But we've essentially got that on. A couple of brackets to put on the back. It was probably easier to take off than it was to put on the exhaust, to be fair. It's more awkward than anything else. I dare say if you had a lift, we could have made it easier. Right, let's get back on, got all these wee heat shields and stuff on. So, that's us about finished the fuel tank shield. I've just painted it with that, I think it's called Raptor paint, to try and keep any rust off that. I'll probably have a wee check on that in 6 months to see what it looks like. And this is just to try and stop chips on there causing any rust. So it's quite a rough finish, that paint. But all done, everything's back on. We've got the exhaust back on, we've got the drive shaft under there. And we painted all the drive shaft as well. That's this side here. So yeah, that's about it. So it took us a bit of time to do that, and the weather didn't help either. So there's nothing much more to do. And saying that, I did find a wee slack bolt up here. Let's see if I can have a look at it. Right there. Yeah, so these AC lines, I noticed that. Let's see if I can move it. I've just painted that. So it is moving, and it looks as if there's a bolt come off here. So I'll maybe take that bolt off there, and if we need to retap that, we'll retap that. But that's us lying under the car fixing things. So we'll call that video finished now, guys, and thanks for being patient and watching it with us. But if you get a chance to land your car, have a look at the fuel tank tray. It will be a bit rusty, and the worry for me is it breaks off and rusts, something hits it and punctures the fuel tank. It is only plastic. Yeah, so that's us, guys, finished for that one, and I'm glad you watched the video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.